So so it's a bounded infinity. Okay. Bear in mind, I'm discussing the motor. This is the motor. This is the invention. Of course, it's knowing how to use it and apply it. That's the hard part. But 1, 2, so I'm just going to do the opposite, because we know as we go this way, now I'm going to do the reciprocal, because we also know that a 2 is the reciprocal of 0.5. It's the same symbol upside down, connected. They both connect to 1. And forgive me for being Gothic, but one God, one universe. It's really, all this is just a chain reaction. One neutrino liberates 2, liberates 4. This is how God created creation, the universe. But 1 doubled is 2, 2 doubled is 4, 4 doubled is 8, 8 doubled is 16. Okay, but we're still at that 7 that we got there by halving 0.25. But this time we just go 1 plus 6 equals 7. 16 doubled is 32. You can never leave the track of infinity. Okay? 3 plus 2 is 5. 32 doubled is 64. Oops, 64, which equals 10, which equals 1. And you're back to where you began. You've gone one complete cycle of infinity. Okay? That's why the I Ching is 64. Not because 8 times 8 is 64, but because it's one complete cycle of infinity. The Mayan calendar, when 2012 happens, the world's not going to destroy. In fact, it's a good thing because we're just passing go. It's just renewing again. It's a cycle. 64 doubled is 128 equals 11 is 2. 128 doubled is 256 equals 13 is 4. 256 doubled is 512 equals 8. 512 doubled is 1024 equals 7. 1024 doubled is 2048 equals 14 is 5. There's only 6 numbers, discrete numbers, in the decimal system for the binary code. Most people thought that the decimal system was different from the binary code. What I discovered is that the binary code is the decimal system. Okay. Jonas Salk called me up on my work on DNA. He's dead now. He said the reason he was calling me up was because everybody wants to say that they've been in Salk's office. I'm just quoting him. He said, so that's why he's calling me up on the phone. We all know who Salk is. He discovered the polio vaccine. So the reason he called me up is a couple weeks before I went and saw Kenneth Clivington as head of research and shared my work with him on DNA. The reason I went there, believe me, it's not fun. Using yourself and your life and your time to go introduce yourself without invitation to the head of research at the Salk Institute. I call it using yourself as a human battering ram. Because I said I wanted to work at that time, I don't know if it was, I think it was Watson, I don't know if it was Crick or Watson, was employed by Salk. I was his employee. And I happened to know that and find that out. So I went there because I had made a discovery. And so I didn't hear anything back. I was a little muffed. But all of a sudden, I was working in my office, and I got a phone call. And Jonas Salk called me up, and he said, the reason I'm calling you up is because everyone wants to say that they've been to Salk's office. But he says, I just wanted to say that I think your work is so advanced that I don't think it will be understood in your lifetime unless you cloned yourself. We're referring to my discovery on DNA, where I found how energy is preserved and how all information is for evolution is preserved in DNA. And so he then changed his subject and his voice and his tone, and he said, as your personal physician, I never met him, I'm concerned about your self-abuse. He said, it's in mankind's nature to war. You can't stop it from there being another Vietnam. I can't remember the rest of the conversation, but it pretty much ended. Back to what matters, right there. Okay? Because there's an emanation shooting out of there. No one would ever thought, let's just take a hard look at me and my brain and what I'm doing. Okay? I'm using numbers to look for energy. Instead of using numbers and using it to create a chart or a graph, I'm using numbers as the graph and chart themselves, to themselves. Okay? Let's do it another way. The secret of this whole thing is the axis. the number 9. It's the most important part. Only number 9 lines up with over 0, right there, which is where the 0 is, the hole, the vortex that must exist. Number 9 is the only number that never changes. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. Because multiples of 9, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, always reduce back to 9. Okay? That is an attribute. That's an equality. Okay? There's no redundancy. There's no omission. Every number has an equality. And this should have been taught in elementary school. But so let's look at the number 1 and its attribute and quality. Multiples of 1 is 1. Let's go right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that's easy. It's just multiples of 1. Multiples of 8, if I'm claiming that everything's a mirror, that everything's created from the inside out like our body, that this is a living system, okay, that numbers are alive, and that's such a challenge, then I have to have the same pattern mirrored, which is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it would have to start from the inside out. So 1 8 is 8, 2 8s is 16, but 1 plus 6 is 7, 3 8s is 24 is 6, 4 8s is 32 is 5, 8 times 5 is 40 is 4, 48 is 12 is 3, 56 is 11 is 2, 64 is 10 is 1, 72 is 9. So it's going minus 1, while this is going plus 1, starting from the inside out. No redundancy, no omission, and we're not looking at the big numbers, we're looking at the pattern.